We will be closing the silent auction at about 7 o'clock. At 7 o'clock, we close the silent auction. Got about 2 minutes on the silent auction. Time on the silent auction. I like the competitiveness. Good evening, everyone. How's everybody doing out there? Welcome. Good to see a lot of smiling faces. No, Paul, stay like that. Your back's to me. You look a lot better with your back to me. Paul Shank, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming down from Chico. A legend. A legend. A lot of legends here tonight. A lot of legends from the past. I'm John Cassidy. I'm not so much a legend. They're just desperate for an MC because the person that should be up here, he's getting recognized tonight. So we'll touch on that in a little while. But this is the 24th class to go in. And I think I've MC'd all but 1 year. So I've seen all the great stories, got a chance to listen, learn, be inspired, motivated. And just really excited to be here tonight with all of you, and looking forward to hearing all the stories of Yuba College lore from the inductees tonight, because they're always really, really interesting, and like I said, inspiring. You okay back there? Yeah, just checking on Mr. Photographer over there. Okay. He's trouble, watch out. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce your athletic director, who's worked his tail off with his team to put this all together tonight. Love the fact that it's at Yuba College in the gym. You get a chance to look at the campus tonight when you're leaving too. A lot of great things are going on here at the college. And how about a big round of applause for Eric Burns?
Thank you, John. Very exciting night for us to celebrate the Athletic Hall of Fame. It's not just a celebration of our inductees tonight, who are special and it's absolutely deserving, but it's a celebration of a long history of Yuba College athletics. It's been quite a year, but before I get into that, I'm going to read the Yuba College land acknowledgement, if you'll indulge me. Yuba College is located within the unceded territory of the Nishan peoples, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the near genocide of their people. We acknowledge the Nishan people are still here among us today, though they are nearly invisible and their story continues to be excluded from history. We understand that the Nishan land is not federally recognized, and Yuba College seeks to amplify the voice of the Nishan as they pursue this recognition. As residents and visitors of Nishan land, we stand beside the Nishan people and their right to sovereignty, self-governance, and self-determination through the stabilization of their people, homelands, and culture. This acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to working to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism and the lasting impact of the California gold rush. We therefore commit to move beyond words into programs and actions that fully embody a dedication to indigenous rights and cultural equity. We have an obligation to care for and respect the land we occupy, and a responsibility to support the native peoples in our community and those engaging with our institutions as students, staff, faculty, and visitors. It is our hope that this acknowledgement will be the first step of many toward intentionally fulfilling our obligations to these communities and treaties. Thank you. So as I started to say, it's been quite a year. In fact, about a year ago tomorrow, a year ago, we inducted an amazing class of Hall of Famers that included Festus Ezeli. When we invited him, we weren't sure if he was going to be able to make it because he is a presenter on the pre and post game in studio show for the Warriors on NBC Sports Bay Area. But it worked out. He was able to join us, and it was a great night. He and his family joined us. But the next day, back at work, he was on his pregame show, and we were afforded this gem. Go ahead.
What's going on with that? So I got in Yuba City, Yuba College Hall of Fame last night. It was a huge deal because for one reason, I never actually played basketball, but that's what I saw. I was a really good guy. That's how I started to play Yuba basketball. And let me become a part of the team where I redshirted and let me practice with the guys. For me to be the guy in the travels and practice with the team, I was a video guy, recording the game. I was a 7-footer coming off the bus. People looking at me like, yo, who is this big guy? And I whip out the camera and look at but my humble beginnings, the reasons why I'm here today, and I'm really grateful to everybody out there. Congratulations.
So yeah, that was the day after the Hall of Fame. It was kind of cool to see him wearing his medal, the same medals that our inductees will get tonight. So that is, the year since this last event. Also heading into this new academic year, we unveiled a new set of logos. So we're excited about those logos. Yuba College with the mountains there in the crest, honoring long tradition of being the nickname the 49ers. We are the original 49ers, as you should know. So we unveiled that. We also broke ground on a new softball facility right here next to the football stadium, between the football stadium and the parking lot, which is clean. That area looked really nice. We're excited about that. We had record-breaking seasons for men's basketball. BBC champs again. You see all the banners up here behind us. Made all the way, this year they made all the way to the Final Four. They haven't lost a BBC game in over 2 seasons and counting. And Coach Korn added to his list of accolades, winning his 500th game. Track and field also continue to do what they do, breaking school records in the men's 4x100 relay. They have 6 athletes qualified to compete in the regionals, and I think 3 or 4 already qualified for the state finals. Coaches, how many do we have? Regionals, thank you. So track and field doing what they do. I mentioned the softball field. Softball just last week earned conference championship. They'll be playing in the first round of the playoffs next weekend. This is their first appearance since Coach Stephanie Reynolds took them to the playoffs. Annually, we have about 200 or so student athletes, and each semester, pretty consistently, about 40% of those student athletes are on our student athlete academic recognition list, Dean's list. So they're taking care of business in the classroom. Student athletes continue to outperform the general student population in GPA, completion rate, and transfer rate. Our coaches and students continue to represent Yuba College very well. For tonight, I need to recognize some people. Many people helped in getting us set up. All listed are in the back of the program, but I need to thank our Hall of Fame committee for all the hard work that they do. I'd like to thank our district leadership, district and college leadership for being here tonight and supporting this event. Of course, our college president has been to every one of these since she's been here. She could not make it tonight. But also excited and happy that our Vice President of Student Instruction, Jeremy Brown, Dr. Jeremy Brown is here tonight. I'll invite him up to say a few things.
Thank you, Eric. Yes, it's my privilege to introduce a few special guests that we have here this evening. We're joined by a few members of our Board of Trustees. So I'd like to welcome our President of the Board of Trustees, Sue Alves. The Vice President of our Board of Trustees, Rick Teagarden. Trustee Juan Delgado. We're also joined this evening by our Chancellor of the Yuba Community College District, Dr. Champagne. I'd also like to welcome the Yuba County Superintendent of Schools, Rob Brager. Thank him for joining us. And thank you all for being here. And back to Eric Burns.
Thank you. Dr. Brown is our football scoreboard timekeeper. He's excellent at it. Phil, if you ever need somebody to operate the scoreboard, I got a guy. And our president, again, not here tonight. She's regularly on our chain gang, has done the scoreboard, very active. And then I know a lot of our trustees, I see at our basketball games getting loud and supporting our program. So that's very much appreciated. I want to thank Jay Loudon for being here, the foundation director. Jay, you want to come say it? What's going on with the foundation? Jay is not only very helpful to me in this event, also with alumni and friends. He's also the son of Perry Loudon, one of our Hall of Famers. Jay Loudon. Thank you, Eric.
Good evening, everybody. So I'm Jay Loudon. I'm the director of the Yuba Community College District Foundation, and we handle all of the fundraising activities for both Yuba College and Woodland Community College. And the reason Eric gave me a few minutes this evening is later this year, next month, We're going to be launching the largest fundraising campaign in the nearly 100-year history of Yuba College. And it's all about increasing more access for students, providing safer facilities for our student athletes, making ADA upgrades to some of our athletic facilities, endowing an emergency fund that students have access to when they have those unexpected emergencies during the course of the year where they need a few $100s. We find many times a student will have that little emergency, which doesn't seem like a lot, but for some of them, it causes them to drop out of school. And what we know is many times if they drop out of school, they don't come back. So if we can alleviate that, we're going to do that. We're also going to create a scholarship fund specifically for students in the Yuba and Sutter communities. So you'll hear about that. John Cassidy, who you've already seen this evening, is very involved in that. He's actually the chair of the campaign. But we hope to raise about $3.6 million, which will make some significant improvements to the athletic facilities here at Yuba College. So I know we have we have a number of donors in the room, and I appreciate that. And if any of you ever want to be involved or want information, it's YCCD, Yuba Community College District Foundation.org. We'd love to have your support. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jay. I want to acknowledge some other people that are very important to our athletic program. I have some coaches in attendance. Can our coaches stand up? Our current coaches? Thank you. Our coaches work so hard. Those of you who played athletics here, you know our coaches work hard. They're not here, but our athletic trainer, Greg Lopin, is such a key part to our program, our student health, our student safety, and just makes us look good. He styles out the opposing team with, makes them feel welcome. And so every chance I get to acknowledge Greg Lopin, I need to do that. Our athletic counselors are here, Kelly Bourne and Greg Brown. I mentioned earlier how well we're doing academically. Those guys are part of that. And Welty is also part of that. Not here this evening. Some things I would like to point out in the program. On the page after Jim Linus's page, there is an advertisement or an ad for Myra Digital Photography. Myra, raise your hand. That QR code is to her website. So all the pictures you see her taking tonight will appear on that website, available to you. The page after that is the Alumni and Friends organization. Alumni and Friends is not just for alumni, but it's a great organization. QR code there also for going to the website and getting more information. But the college has 90 years of alumni and a nice, a tight-knit community of friends to the college. Through those memberships, we bring that money back to the campus and support clubs. We've supported the student pantry. We've supported the automotive club, the psychology club, just so many clubs that we've supported. We want to continue to do that and just enhance the student experience and keep our alumni and friends of the college connected through that organization. And then the third thing I wanted to point you to is the next page is the Hall of Fame selection criteria. It's listed there, but more importantly, the Yuba College Athletics webpage, has a link to our Hall of Fame page. And there you'll find the nomination forms. And we're always looking for nominations. We'd like to keep that stat high and plentiful so that we're nominating and not overlooking any of our history that people that should be recognized at this event. So please think of some of your classmates from back in the day, or any of your generations, past generations that you know competed and were successful and want to nominate them. I'm happy to take that. Next, as is the tradition of the Hall of Fame, we like to recognize the current Hall of Famers in attendance. Okay? So here's how this goes. I will read off those in attendance and ask them to stand and to stay standing until the end. Then the rest of us will hold off on applause until we've mentioned them all and I get a chance to get any other names that I may have missed. All right, so before I say that, appreciative of all the alumni, all of the past Hall of Famers coming back, celebrating with us. Again, it's a great evening. It's made that much more special when you're here. So I'll start with Mariana Dana Lamb, Tim Dana, Angela Vanucci Lynn, Josh Cook, Thea Post, Jay Loudon, representing Perry Loudon, John Cassidy. Did I miss anybody? Is there anybody else here who's a past? Okay, please acknowledge our Hall of Famers. Okay. Next. We're getting to the good part. Next, our Student Athlete Awards. Our first award is going to go to Devin Malcolm. Come on up, Devin. As a freshman, he was MVP of the league. He was first team All-State and named All-American. That was last year. This year was first team All-Conference and was named one of the players to the All-California tournament team. That's the team that they select at the state final tournament. He was our leading scorer, our leading shot blocker, second leading rebounder on a 29-3 Final Four team. He led us to undefeated back-to-back conference seasons, 32-0 in conference, and a 2-year record of 55-6. Those of you who watched basketball this year know exactly why. This guy is our Male Athlete of the Year.
Wow, I gotta get a speech now. I'm not much of a speech guy, but I'm gonna take the time I've been given by Coach Burns over here to appreciate my family. Thanks to all my teammates that I shared memories. I can never, forget them. It's been a wild 2 years. Since I'm going to be transferring to CBU, I'm definitely going to miss everything about you, but thank you.
Our next award is Female Student Athlete of the Year, Taya Carty. Taya Carty is a track and field thrower. Taya is currently one of the top overall throwers in the nation, continuing her dominance in the throws. She is ranked number 1 in the state in the discus. She's holding the Yuba school record. Number 6 in hammer, this is in the state. Number 6 in hammer and number 9 in the shot put with the state in all 3. Her NorCal ranking is 1st in discus, 3rd in hammer, and 6th in the shot. In the Golden Valley Conference, she's number 1 in discus, number 1 in hammer, and number 1 in shot. She should be a multi-time American, All-American, and state champion if things keep going the way they are. They still have a regional meet and a state final meet. Teo is the only non-Division I athlete to qualify for discus at the Stanford Invitational, placing in the top 10 against schools like Cal, Stanford, UCLA, Washington, and other D1 powerhouses. She is a freshman, but was a qualifier out of high school, so has the option to be one and done, as they say. So she might not be at Yuba next year. Taya has improved 20 feet plus already in the discus from high school, which is crazy. She never did hammer in high school, but she's doing it now. She is one of 3 ladies that currently vying for the 3C2A Track and Field Athlete of the Year award. Hannah Smart is the only other Yuba track athlete to ever get that. And Kanan was the other runner-up last year by losing by a point. So, Taya Cardi, female athlete of the year.
Also not super big on speeches, but just super immensely grateful for Yuba College and my coaches and family and teammates for providing the opportunity to have these experiences and to find this success. So, thank you.
Okay, our third award is for London Gillespie of softball. London has degenerative knee issues that has limited her ability to participate in her sport. Last year, the team had barely enough players to put on the field. London played hurt. This fall, she showed up to every practice, even though she could barely get through 25 minutes of it. She worked hard with a physical therapist leading up to our spring season, and she has slowly been able to do more and more as she has gotten stronger. She's now able to get through a full practice and is having an impact on the field. The sport of softball is not for the mentally weak. The sport is a grind, and most quit before they reach the finish line. It would have been very easy for London to quit a long time ago, and nobody would have blamed her. She has been determined to play her sophomore season and finish the softball journey at very few reaches. She has been an inspiration to her entire team and represents the best of Yuba College. Every single one of her teammates and coaches roots so hard for when she is on the field. We all know how hard she has worked. London Gillespie.
Honestly, I'm just thankful to be able to play the sport I love, thankful to my coaches who gave me the tools to get better this fall, and thankful for my family for always believing I can get better.
Okay. John, are you ready to induct some Hall of Famers? Ladies and gentlemen, please a warm welcome for our MC, John Cassidy.
Okay, now the fun begins. All good. Everybody having a good time out there? So before we get into it, just want to kind of jump on what Jay Loudon so articulate he is, what he said. This college has been around for a long time, especially in the athletic realm. It's look at 90 years of athletics. And I've had the good fortune, like I said earlier, I've only missed one of these. I've emceed all of one, I think. And I even have one of these wonderful awards. This college has been a part of this community in a huge way for many, many years. And what you're going to hear tonight, you're going to hear stories of how it made a difference in people's lives. And I want to turn it around and tell you that you've made a difference in this community's life. And if you haven't noticed over the last few years, the Yuba region, all the way down to Woodland, there's a lot of great things happening economically. I'll use one example. There's a lot of people that are associated with Yuba College in one way or another, whether it be students or teachers who had family here. You go just a short distance down to Hard Rock and look at that development and what it's brought to this community in just a little under 5 years. And all the economic dynamics that are occurring, from housing to different businesses that are expanding, to people moving to our region. When I moved to Yuba City in 1985, it was 17,000 population, and the region now it's about 90,000. And then just spread out over Yuba County, same type of things are happening with Plumas Lake, what's going on around Wheatland. A lot of the things that are at Beale Air Force Base that being expanded there that a lot of us don't know about yet, but are well on the way to getting here, are pretty exciting. So, and with people, the exodus from a lot of metropolitan areas because people want better qualities of life, Yuba College is going to play an even bigger role going forward than it has played in the past. And you'll hear a lot of the messaging that's going to come out over the next few months about strengthening our community. And what you all have gotten from Yuba College as athletes and coaches, and what you've given to Yuba College is going to get expanded, and it makes a huge difference in strengthening our community. So stay tuned for that, and don't be afraid to reach out if you know some folks that might want to get involved in that. Jay talked about it, and I'm just going to enhance it there because it's a big deal where this community's going, and we're all a part of it. And so pay attention to that coming down the road. Thank you for giving me a moment to share that with you. 155 inductees after tonight. 15 teams, 1 band, and 1 drill team. Pretty cool. When I talked to Festus a lot, that was a pretty cool video. He, unbeknownst to anybody, in fact, I might have been the one that shot that because I was at home and I follow the Warriors pretty close, and we talk a lot of basketball. And all of a sudden, on comes the pregame show, and here's Festus with his medal, smiling really brightly. And one of his co-hosts, Bonta, along with Chris Mullen, the actual NBA Hall of Famer. Chris Bond is a City College of San Francisco alum, and he'd been giving Festus a hard time about City College of San Francisco's basketball prowess. And Festus got to throw one back in his face a little bit with the medal. But Festus's heartfelt comments to the entire San Francisco Bay Area, and obviously beyond, was pretty amazing. What it meant to him, his whole family was here that night, and that's what happens at these every year. They're pretty amazing events. I'm gonna, as I do every year, and I won't take too long, but I'm gonna give you guys a little flavor for some of the stories that have been told because they're very meaningful. 90 years of athletics at Yuba College has produced some amazing stories. Everybody here, I'm sure, is familiar with the Stassi family, baseball. Jim's in the Hall of Fame here. Obviously, his son's the catcher, starting catcher for the White Sox. Max, Brock's coaching and played with the Phillies. He's in their organization. Jim Watson, some of you may remember Jim. Jim played on the 1947 World Champion Washington Redskins offensive line. He was a 4-time mayor of Marysville. He created the Kiwanis Fishing Derby that's been going on for close to 60 years for all the kids around Ellis Lake once a year. An amazing man. Great story. Bud Van Buren. Bud was probably the first legendary coach that came through Yuba College. He was the athletic director, head football coach at Humboldt State, now Cal Poly Humboldt, for close to 30 years. His biggest, most noteworthy accomplishment, though, is he was the last football player to play in the Rose Bowl and play every single down. Offense, defense, and special teams. And quite a character. Incredible man, incredible accomplishments. Jim Hannafin was on Bud Van Buren's staff here. Jim Hannafin was the eventual head coach of the NFL's St. Louis Cardinals. before they moved to Phoenix. So a couple of great stories there. Our first year when we inducted folks in the Hall of Fame, it was a very interesting inductee ceremony. We inducted John O'Runyon. And John was an amazing track and field coach. He coached Stacy Dragila, taught her the pole vault, which she eventually won a couple of gold medals in the Olympics. Stacy's also in the Yuba College Hall of Fame for volleyball with Thea and track and field. And John also, the first all-weather track in California at any college or university, happened to be right here at Yuba College. And John was responsible for that, as well as being part of the U.S. Olympic coaching contingent for track and field. You go out and see the baseball field here. His grandson's playing on it right now. It's named after Gary Engelken. An amazing baseball coach, one of the winningest junior college baseball coaches in the history of the United States. Also coached many years in the Montreal Expos organization during the off-season. And then a gentleman named Lon Simmons, who used to refer to one of the best running backs ever at Yuba, a guy named, he called the Colusa Comet, Frank Ferriola from Colusa. And this broadcaster made his name here first at Yuba College. His name was Lon Simmons. He's in the Broadcast Hall of Fame. He was the San Francisco 49ers broadcaster, Giants, and the A's. He even did some Warriors games. Greatest claim to fame was in 1960 at the Winter Olympics, just up the hill in Truckee, at what used to be called Squaw Valley. He called the first ever upset of the Russians in the Olympics. When the Americans beat the Russians for the first time in the Olympics, that was actually in 1960, and he called that on the radio. Lon was a legend. Then there's Shohira Tom Takata. His family was interned in Tule Lake during World War II. Came back to Yuba College, played basketball, and it went on to San Jose State, where he ended up leading the engineering department. He was the head of the engineering department at San Jose State. Incredible life story. Then there's the 1969 state football championship team from Yuba College. And a gentleman named Fred Riley, who was the star of that team, went on to play at University of Idaho. He was a star there. But lost touch with a lot of folks here for a better part of his life. Ron Billy, the athletic director at the time, finally found Fred because everybody from that team that went in wanted Fred to come back and be recognized. So Fred came back. They found him in Texas. He had kind of a tough life, but he brought his 9-year-old son to this event. And when Fred received his medal, talked about his success and what Yuba College meant in his life, his 9-year-old son didn't even know he played football. Quite a moment. Great story. I mentioned Stacy Dragila. What an athlete. What an incredible story. Olympian. And Thea's here tonight. We had a mother and daughter contingent that are in the Hall of Fame. Thea and her mom, Carol Jean. Pretty amazing people. Then we have a family with 4 members, the Balbutans, and the 2 sisters. They're both pharmacists. I think they still own the Chico Racket Club, but they call themselves heathens because the first time they ever got to really socialize with people, other than just going to school and going home and studying, was when they got to Yuba College and played tennis. And then Glenn Potter, the first ever inductee to this Hall of Fame, brought the pick and roll from Illinois to the West Coast. You had the basketball pick and roll. And Sam Spurbeck, I think it was in the 40s, but in 1928 he brought the 49er logo. He created it with the 49er on it for Yuba College. And it was San Francisco 49ers. I think they were in the American Football Conference at the time. No one has the full story, but there's pieces of it around. They paid $1. They actually had a ceremony at Yuba College in Marysville High School. They paid $1 for the rights to use the 49er mascot to Yuba College. So, tremendous history, some great stories, some great inductees, and we'll go ahead and kick off tonight's inductees in the 24th class. Hope you enjoyed that little walk through the history of Yuba College. So our first honoree tonight, going into the Yuba College Athletic Hall of Fame, he was the head coach at Yuba College for 23 years. He was the head football coach at Yuba College. During his tenure, he led the Bay Valley Conference to be Coach of the Year 4 times. He led his team to 8 bowl games, 6 conference titles, and 4 division titles. He was Region 1 Coach of the Year in 1998, Region 2 Coach of the Year in 2001. He was inducted into the California Community College Football Coaches Hall of Fame in 2023. Prior to coming to Yuba College, he coached at Gonzaga Prep High School, Eastern Washington University, California State Hayward, and UC Davis. He's happily retired with his wife for 35 years. They share 5 children. He's hanging out in France today. He couldn't be here, so please give a nice round of applause. I'm going to bring up Bob Miller to accept for Ted Hull. Bob, you can have a lot of fun with that picture. How about a big round of applause for Bob Miller?
Got one thing to say about Ted. All the coaches I've ever worked for, Ted gave everybody on the staff his full trust. We were playing a game here at the old grass field years ago, and it was an exciting game. We won the ball game. And I remember a reporter from the Appeal Democrat came up and said, "How do you guys coordinate all this? You got coaches that are teaching at Lyndhurst, Marysville, wherever else." He said, "We're like an old married couple. We know what we're going to do. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to argue about it." So he really trusted us in that aspect. He sent me a text, and typical of Ted, it was about 5 words long. So I had to fill in the blanks. He wanted me to, first of all, congratulate Jeremy for going in the Hall of Fame with him. That's outstanding. Special thanks to the committee for selecting him. He's really honored with this. He's bummed out. In the last text, he's I'm bummed I can't be there. He's in France. His oldest niece gets married within about an hour of France time, whatever that is. So he can't make it. He was very pleased to get the news from Eric. He said it's just as valuable to him as was the one at the state level. Extremely proud of the athletes and the people he worked here at Yuba College with throughout his 25 years. A special thanks to Eric and Rod Bilby as the athletic directors during his tenure. Special recognition to the supporting staff, maintenance, whatever else it took to get the football game going, to get the team going. Also, he wants to thank the presidents, college presidents during his tenure. Without their support, there wouldn't have been a team. Special thanks to Greg Brown and Kelly Bourne for trying to keep our knuckleheads eligible. And that was done a full-time job. Big thanks to Greg and Corey, our trainers, Larry Poole. Without Larry Poole, this place would come unglued. Larry's, I don't know how many years he's been here, ever since I've been here. He's the guy. He takes care of business for us. Special thanks to Rosa and Sheila, the 2 secretaries from Ted is here. They actually run the department, as Alyssa knows right now. Secretaries run the athletic department. ADs, we're just somebody to stand up and look at. Okay? Sorry, Eric. I was an AD too. Again, a huge thank to all the assistant coaches, and I tried to remember all of them. He didn't give me a list. Way back in the day, Carlos Romero, Derek Hall, Jeff Lopetegui, Ernie Rodriguez, Todd Anderson, JJ Rodriguez, Tomas Rodriguez, and he's wanted me to mention that the first coach he met when he came on campus, who was first hired, was this old dog here. So said, recognize the old man. So that's it. So
Special thanks to everybody involved in the 25 years he was here. Again, he's truly, truly appreciative of the honor and takes it to his heart. Thank you.
Okay, Ross.